All right, chat. The long-awaited projections for Refinery. This I'm looking forward to. I can't even imagine what's going to happen here. Now, some of these characters I do know from the games themselves, right? And some of these characters I've had people speculate about for years to come. But honestly, it's the first Disencounter Refines. I can't even imagine what they're going to want to do, especially with some of the better Disencounter weapons we have nowadays. But you guys know, for example, Legendary Roy has Disencounter in his weapon, but it's also just, you know, effective against dragons. That's it, right? Like, it could be really pedestrian. Or say for Sothis, it's like neutralizes effective against dragons and then Disencounter. So yeah, I really don't know what to expect. So we're gonna see. Anyways, to start things off with, you guys can tell me right now who you expect to have the best refine, and when it actually happens, I will go over them with you guys and tell you guys whether you're right or wrong. For me personally, the one I am most looking forward to immediately is the Black Knight. And also, really quick, these are just predictions, real quick. It says refinery predictions, please. Anyways, without further ado, let us start. And we will start with Ryoma. Why not? The next legendary hero that is getting a remix is Legendary Ryoma, and of course, base Ryoma Rajinto was a force back in the day. If you guys didn't know, Ryoma used to be, what is it? Top 5 sword heroes in the game? Easily. He was one of the best, absolute best S tier sword hero back in 2017. That was like 4 years ago. He's obviously not there anymore, but maybe with the refine he can get back there. Rajinto, I love that symboling. That is so perfect. Wow. By the way, Conquest is way better. Way better. Just saying. Rajinto, unit can counterattack regardless of foe's range. Of course, it's still his DC weapon. If unit initiates combat or is within 2 spaces of an ally, grants attack speed, defense, res +4 to unit, and neutralizes effects that guarantees foe's follow-up attacks and effects that prevent units' follow-up attacks during combat. That's fair. Just 4 stats, and it's whether you initiate, which makes sense because it's friggin' Ryoma. He would be offensive, or within 2 spaces of an ally, and then of course not follow-up. That's not bad at all. I don't expect too many effects because it's Disencounter weapons, as I pointed out, like the older ones are pretty pedestrian in the amount of effects they have, so this would definitely be there. Then again, we have Fallen Ike, who has like one of the most incredible Disencounter weapons ever because he can't be penalized. Either way, that's not bad. Plus 4 to all stats, no fault is a fair thing. It fits the new Ryoma way better, of course, because he needs extra defense and res because he now has Bushido. The extra speed would help as well. So yeah, I can see it working on both Ryomas. And obviously, infantry heroes with null follow-up is now so important in the game, considering how many heroes have auto doubles. For example, the new Sigurd, Legend Sigurd, auto double. Saros, auto double. You guys can go through the list. Braimund. All right, next. Rajinto. And this one is from Shamil. The expectation is, at start combat, if foe's HP is over 75%, grants attack speed, defense, res +4 to unit during combat, and special cooldown charge +1 per attack. I actually think that fits a bit better for Ryoma, considering the fact that Bushido originally was supposed to be like Wudao effect in terms of special triggers, and then you get extra damage. Letting Rajinto like charge a special really quickly, I think that makes a lot more sense to me. And of course, the stats are here as well. Ryoma has at base 44 HP, 50 attack, 35 speed, 27 defense, and 21 res. He definitely needs all stats +4, more speed to help his lackluster speed. Back in the day, he was really, really fast, but nowadays, not so much. Defense res +4 helps a lot with the Disencounter, so it makes perfect sense. And of course, more attack, because he needs it. Which, by the way, I would expect Ryoma to become Resplendent one day. But then again, Korn hasn't become Resplendent yet, so who really knows when. Either way, Rajinto especially fits the new Ryoma considering he has Bushido 2 now, and of course attack speed rain. So by dropping their attack, dropping their speed, helps him a lot in terms of Bushido's damage reduction, and of course faster cooldown. Doesn't do anything extra because it's 7 extra damage period, but yeah, that is something. But yeah, I think I like Shamil's a bit better because it just fits the more offensive nature of Ryoma. Null follow-up is always nice, but I think this fits a bit more. But yeah, that is Ryoma. Number 2, his rival, which by the way, guys, when I first saw Xander, I was so convinced Xander was Korn's dad. I was so convinced that was the case. Xander and Ryoma, they don't look like they're in the same age group at all. Ryoma looks like you know, he's in his early 20s. Xander looks like he's like in his like early 30s. That's how big of an age gap it looks like. Either way, obviously that was from watching the commercials and stuff. Obviously, having played Fates and stuff, I know better. All right, Siegfried. By the way, Siegfried is such an awesome name. Like Sig. Okay, well that got ruined by Fate Apocrypha, but Siegfried, I've always loved that name because I've always been a big fan of Nightmare from Soul Calibur. Anyways, unit counterattack regardless of foe's range, of course, is a distant counter weapon. If foe initiates combat or if foe's HP is 100% at start of combat, that's really good considering he's a very defensive hero. He should not be used offensively at all, whereas Ryoma is a dual phase hero, so yeah, it makes perfect sense. Attack defense -5 on foe during combat, perfect. And the attack -5 is so big because Xander's base res is so horrendously bad. So horrendously bad. Everybody has a merge Xander because they give away so many Xanders for free. So dropping their attack, allowing his res to be more usable helps a lot. And also, if foe can make a follow-up attack, reduces damage from foe's first attack by 50%. That would make him a super tank. That would put him on the level of like, yeah, he would be on the level of say like Brave Ike or somebody. Now, obviously, it's not 40% on first attack and 80% on second attack. Not as good, but attack defense -5, as well as having DC built in the weapon means you can actually like keep your A slot for a stance skill. I can't speak English, can I? That would actually be pretty cool. I actually prefer that a lot. But yeah, that would really help with the entire idea of just like tanking a shot really, really well. He would really need that because his res is so crummy. All right. Let's see what Shamil wrote. Shamil has unit counterattack regardless of foe's range. I should just stop reading that because they're all going to say that. At start of combat, if foe's HP is over 50%, inflicts attack defense -4 on foe during combat. If unit's HP is over 70% and foe initiates combat, unit makes a guaranteed follow-up attack. Oh. Chat. Isn't that just a tad familiar? Did we not just see this on a certain red mage that I was immensely disappointed on? It's basically Leon. Oh no, I hope not, because the reason I was so pissed off about Leon was because almost everybody gave him QR. Almost everybody. It was TA, QR, and that was the basic build. You either put an attack smoke or you kept the drive res, but that was the basic build. Most standards have QR. If IS does it again, I'm just going to be pissed off. Attack defense -4 helps a lot. But if it's just QR, Xander's not going to live up to the promise. And it would just make Ryoma way better, which doesn't make sense considering they should be around the same level. I mean, Ryoma's kind of busted, but so is Xander. Xander's just more defensively skewed. But yeah, you guys can see it. With 17 res, he absolutely has to drop the attack of his opponents. If he can reduce damage, that res starts becoming useful. But the problem is Xander actually doesn't hit hard enough because he's a Gen 1 hero and he was free. So the problem is like if you attack Xander, he's obviously not quick enough to deny you from doubling. And if he only has 17 res, he can take a hit, but he can't take 2 hits and he can't kill you in 1 hit. So they attack, Xander attacks, and then they attack again and Xander dies. So if it's just QR, it doesn't do enough because you're not going to get the second hit. It only really helps if it's a physical hero or it's Archer. So I hope it's not the case, but having seen Leon get screwed over by QR, I can believe it. That sucks. That is a very plausible refine. While I really want Greid's version of Siegfried, I think the most likely one is Xander's version from Shamil. Next, I can't believe it. It's such a... So unlike a lot of the other characters, which they're just the same character using the weapon, right? That's Ryoma and Ryoma. Xander's all by his lonesome. That's Ike and Ike. That's 2 different characters, obviously, with Black Knight and Zelgius. This is actually just straight up 2 different characters. Camus and Hardin with Grativis. I'm gonna skip the unit counterattack regardless of foe's range, except I just said it, so it didn't really matter. During unit's first combat in player phase or enemy phase, grants attack speed, defense res +5 to unit, and restores 10 HP to unit after combat. So kind of like Ingrid's Beach version, Summer Ingrid's weapon. I see. I like that actually. It fits, considering Hardin's actually not entirely slow. He has a bit of speed stat, and Camus has a bit of speed stat. and they both need all sorts of stats. So +5 to all stats and 10 HP healing. That actually helps quite a bit. The only problem is Grativis kind of breaks what Hardin was known for back in the day, because he was the first hero to come with what, Brazen Defense Res? Which Brazen did he have, chat? I don't remember because I just got Hardin, remember? And obviously nobody uses A slot, but yeah, it kind of screws up his base A slot, which I think they might not do, but yeah, we'll see. It's a fair refine. Fits Camus better than Hardin, I would say. It was defense res. Yeah, it was. Yep. All right. So for in this case, with Camus having only 17 res and Hardin having 32 res, yeah, you could see why that was going to be a problem. All right, Grativis. During unit's first combat in player phase or enemy phase, inflicts attack defense -5 on foe during combat, and if foe initiates combat, reduces damage from foe's first attack by 50%. That is funny. So Shamil thinks there's a damage reduction by 50% on Gradivis and not on Xander, whereas Greid thinks there's a damage reduction by 50% on Xander, but not on Gradivis. Nice. It's like you guys switched around your ideas. All right, cool. Well, with that said, attack defense -5 is a big deal. It really helps because the res on Camus is low, and Hardin would like to have every stat anyways, and increasing their damage output by a little bit helps a lot. Either way, allowing the hero to be used on both phases is really important, considering Hardin and Camus are really good dual phase heroes, right? Hardin has one of the, people forget this, but one of the most frequent seals on Hardin back in the day was the QR seal. This way he could have Bold Fighter attack twice on player phase and then QR to attack back twice on enemy phase. So he was really good dual phase hero, and of course Camus just had the stats for dual phase anyways. So yeah, I like that refine a lot. It makes a lot of sense and would fit both heroes perfectly. All right, moving on. The final two. Ragnell. At start of combat, if unit's HP is over 25%, grants attack speed defense res +4 during combat, and also special trigger before or during combat, and unit attack grants special cooldown count -2 after combat. Wait, you have to keep in mind that Legendary Ike has Radiant Ether too, right? So if you keep that in mind, first battle, it's basically already at 2 cooldown, so you hit him and it. What? Isn't this going to be a bit too broken with Legendary Ike? Am I remembering incorrectly, chat? You know what? I'll just bring up Legendary Ike. All right. Radiant Ether 2. At start of turn 1, grant special cooldown count -2 to unit. So first turn, it's already at 2 cooldown, which works perfectly with Warding Breath. So you hit him and he instantly hits you back with Radiant Ether. So entire idea here is, I don't think it fits as well. That's the thing, because if special triggers before or during combat and unit attack, grants special cooldown count -2 after combat. So no matter what, it's just Radiant Ether 2 triggering over and over again, because it's just going to always be at 2 cooldown. And the people who did Special Spiral on Ragnell kind of really mess it up. So I get it. From the respect of base Ike, that's great. He needs it. He needs it because he has base Ether. I guess he does have heavy blade in his A slot. You're right about that. Sorry, company. So it does work still. -2 cooldown. So I see what you mean. So -2 cooldown, you attack. -2, they attack. -1, and then you just ether them in the face. So yeah, it still works with old Ike, I guess, if you use heavy blade. But most people don't use heavy blade on him anymore. But I see it. I see it. So that does make some sense. It's just I think the amount of people who did Special Spiral on Legendary Ike.
0 cooldown ether, that is so overkill.
Right, because the reality is just we know you can do Special Spiral as well on them, and the people who already have Special Spiral on him might want to switch off of it as well. So double Special Spiral could be completely broken. We'll see. That is interesting. I like that idea, but it's really interesting. We'll see. I like all stats +4, which again helps a lot because Ike's stats aren't that great, especially his res is kind of crummy. And of course, he needs more attack, more speed, more defense. So especially not just his res, but especially his res. Anyways, Weapon Refine here is at start combat, if unit's HP is over 25%, grants attack +5 to unit, inflicts attack -5 on foe during combat, and also neutralizes effects that grant special cooldown charge +X to foe or inflict special cooldown charge -X on unit. I think that's really fair. In other words, you can't use guard against Ike. You can't charge against Ike as well. Yeah. You can't charge extra against Ike as well. So I think that's really, really fair. And attack plus 5, attack minus 5 helps with the defensive and offensive stats.
Finally some good refines.
Hey Pika, thank you so much for the bits. But yeah, I think this is really fair because I do think double special spiral will be really broken. And for those who only want to use one special spiral, it might be upsetting to like think they wasted it. So yeah, this one seems a lot more fair. It's kind of like Byleth in the respect of denying special fighters, special fighter type skills, but that's not bad. I like that. So yeah, Shamil's refine makes more sense to me. All right. With that said, finally, the hero that I wanted the most, Alondite. On the Black Knight, it ends the field. At start combat, if foe's HP is over 75%, it flex attack speed, defense minus 5 on foe, and neutralize effects that grant special cooldown charge plus X to foe, or inflict special cooldown charge minus X on unit during combat. Did you guys seriously just switch it around? I get their sister swords, and I get you two are basically the same person at this point, but you switched Alondite with Ragnell, basically. Okay. Anyways, attack speed, defense minus 5 on foe makes a lot of sense because the Black Knight still has some speed. Zelgius still has some speed. It's not great speed, but he can definitely use it to deny doubles, so that's pretty important. And one of the most important things on him is just to get Black Luna spam, so I like that a lot. But
the icon and effect are a reference to Black Knight / Zelgius Nihil skill in Radiant Dawn.
Yes, I'm aware. I'm just not gonna bring up every little fact. It's obvious that they spent quite a bit of time on the modeling up for the skills. But that's a really good skill. I just really wanted Alondite to have slaying in it so that he can actually use special fighter Alondite with Black Luna spamming. And I don't even think that's that broken, but I get it. This way you can't stop him from charging up really quickly. So it's still fair and it still allows me to retain DC. But yeah, I like that. Stats and ability to keep charging your special. However, Alondite, for Shamil, if foe initiates combat or if foe's HP is 100% at start combat, grants attack speed, defense, rust plus 4, all stats plus 4, nice, unit, and deals damage equals 20% of foe's defense during combat. Wow. That's just like a soft... That's actually... Wow, 20% of foe's defense during combat. Wait a second. That's so weird. So when you get Black Luna, you reduce their defense and res by 80%. And during normal battle, you do damage scaling on their defense by 20%. That's kind of interesting. That also makes it so when Black Luna triggers, you're probably just going to one-shot them, which already basically happens anyways because Black Luna's 80% damage reduction is insane. So it's kind of like 100% damage reduction in a sense. Effectively, it'll work out like that, or if not better, depending on how much defense they have. I like that idea a lot, and it does like make Black Luna and Black Knight. I like that a lot because I still think Black Knight still has a role to play in this game. Black Luna is still one of the most busted specials that are really accessible for a lot of players. So I like that a lot. That really improves his damage output and really allows him to one-shot his opponents in general with Black Luna. That's cool. I like it. Because the thing is, one of the most disastrous and strong combos with Zelgius and Black Knight right now is to use slaying weapon, slaying sword, whatever, slaying edge, whatever. Anyways, and then you run special fighter, and then you run a save skill, close save. So in other words, your opponent attacks you, and then you immediately guard, and you just hit Black Luna in the face, and they explode. I really like that Black Knight and Zelgius combination that you see with the save skills. So if you do something like this, even better. And it allows them to be more defensive in a role like this, but still have a bit of dual face potential because if foe's HP is 100%, you still get the stats. So I like that a lot. It works. They both work. Huh. Anyways, personally, I think they both have pretty good takes on the skills, so we'll see. Evan, Pika, thanks for gifting Evan. He's now been here for half a year. Anyways, chat, let me know which one's your favorite. For me, and which one you're looking forward to the most. For me, I'm easily looking forward to Black Knight the most. He's just my favorite character out of this entire bunch of heroes. But the one I think would be the most exciting is the distant counter weapon. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, leave a like, subscribe, follow. And those are the predictions from Shamil0 and Greid.